Today's podcast is sponsored by Mark Smith at Oars Capital, an SEC registered financial advisor with a legal obligation to put your needs first.
Have a 401k from an old firm or a pension where you can take a lump sum payment? Mark can help. Go to oarscapital.com. Ladies, are you just so frustrated that your man doesn't understand you or anything really?
And do you wonder why are men like that? This is Chick to Chick. Carrie, I think a lot of women want to know, why are men like that? You know, and this podcast was actually really born 16 years ago when a little girl, a little 6-year-old by the name of Lauren, she was friends with my son. She used to say to me all the time, Miss Flora, why does Sean do that? Miss Flora, why does Sean act like that? Why does he say those things? It was why? And I finally looked at her and remember, Carrie, this was a 6-year-old. And I said, Lauren, he can't help himself. He has that Y chromosome. He's a guy. He can't help himself. And that's where this podcast was really born 16 years ago, even as a little dude acting like a goof.
That is too funny. And how perceptive is that little girl? I know who you're talking about. She's a smart cookie.
Yes,
I think, we joke about it and we laugh about it, but let's be honest. I mean, I've been saying, why does my dad do what he does? Why did my boyfriend do what he does? And then, I've been married for 25 years. Why in the world does my husband do some of the things that he does?
All of the crazy things. And you just go, why?
What's in your brain? I don't understand.
I think it's that Y chromosome, and we don't get it because our brains aren't wired that way. And women, it's so funny because if you talk to them, you think you're the only ones thinking why?
No.
And they're all thinking the same thing. Why?
I know. Well, we're going to get a little insight today because joining us today, we have Lark Wood. And basically, his title is that he is representing all men. That is what Lark is doing today. So, Lark, I'm so happy that you are brave enough to chirp with us today. We just want to really get right down to it. I feel like as women, there are simple things in the house that are just known to do. Things like pick up after yourself, trash, certain things with laundry. And yet somehow we end up nagging because basically you're just not doing it right. That's what we think. What do you think?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. No pressure in representing all men.
No.
And I'm sure
this, dude. You got this.
You got this.
Sure that I'm not being set up to fail right now at all. I have to say that a lot of this comes from our parents, and a lot of this is our parents' fault.
It always is.
There is a lie that we're told as young boys. Things like we want to have dessert before dinner and we're told no, and we want to not make our bed and we want to leave our room messy. And one of the things that we're told as kids is when you grow up and you have your own house, you can live by your own rules. So we want to just live by our own rules. And then we get married and find out that that's a whole lie. We don't get to make the rules. So we had our own rules for like a month or two in college, maybe when we lived by ourselves, but it's a lie. So we're just trying to live out what we were promised as children.
That's what it is. It's mom and dad's fault, right?
It's just a perpetual lie that when you grow up and you live in your own house, you can do things the way you want to do. And you can't. So we pick on little fights, like leaving a pair of socks in the middle of the floor because we can. Because we can.
Because you can. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because I think this is funny. I'm part of a bunco group and there are a whole lot of women in there. And I said to them, ladies, what are your whys? Like why? And you ready for this, Lark? Are you ready?
I don't know, but I'm going to take it anyway.
Why do they leave the toilet seat up? Why do they sit there and watch me fold laundry and don't help? Why do they leave dishes in the sink for a week? Why do I have to pack his suitcase for his trips? Why doesn't he throw out the junk mail? Why doesn't he throw out all of the garbage and the recycling too? And here's the fun one. Why are there multiple containers of the same food open in the refrigerator at the same time. Why?
I think you stole my list, Flora.
So much. That was.
Did you catch all that, Lark? Because we want answers for all of it.
I wish I could answer all of them. The laundry one is the one I'm going to dive into because I'm guilty of that one. I do not help with the laundry. And there's a reason I don't help with the laundry. The critiquing I get every time I help with the laundry does not outweigh I don't get any credit for helping. I get blamed for not folding it correctly. When I was in college, I worked retail for 2 weeks. And
2 whole weeks.
2 whole weeks. And because I could not fold the t-shirts on the t-shirt table, I quit. And they were happier than I like when I quit.
Out of here.
They were like, yeah, you should quit. You can't fold clothes. And that's a big part of this job. So I don't help with the laundry. That's one that I'm guilty of. I'm not guilty of the trash one. The trash and the recycle have to go. The one that I do is I have a pile. Do your husband have piles?
Yep.
I have a pile in the bedroom. And my wife, when we bought a bigger house, she said, you promised me you're going to get rid of the pile when we get the bigger house. I was like, yes, no pile once I have my own walk-in closet. Well, now I have a pile in my walk-in closet and I have a pile next to the bed. I like my piles. I like to put things in a pile.
But
I want to know why.
She's annoyed by that. So why can't you just clean it up?
Because it's soothing to me. It's therapeutic to me. I like that's like saying if I didn't like your makeup or my wife's makeup, like she's not going to change the way she wants her makeup because that's what she likes, or her hair. Or, like she gets a haircut. I don't get a vote as to what she does with, like she picks what she wants for her hair and I go with it. And my piles are just they're not
your territory.
That's your
pile.
Piled. I had to clean it up till I was 18 years old. You know, their rules, their house. And now I have a pile. And
so it's your rebellion. You're being a rebellious teenager here.
Or let me ask you this. Does your pile make it to the laundry?
See, that's what the pile is for. It's for like a hoodie that I only wore for like 15 minutes while I took out, when I went outside. So it doesn't quite need to go in the laundry, but I'm not good at folding, so I'm not putting it away in the drawer. So it's in the pile. And the pile is that in-between stage where I feel like I'm doing a favor and not putting and creating more laundry that I don't intend to help with. So what ends up happening is when we do inevitably get in the pile fight, all of it goes into the laundry. And then I get the dirty look like, well, you just created more work for me. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you wouldn't allow it to just stay in the pile. So now it's in the basket. So who's the lose? It's the lose fight, right? Like no one can take that up.
This makes me laugh so hard because this is a conversation in my house all the time. Like, dude, what's up with this pile? And he's like, what do I care? Like, it's just a pile. It's not a big deal. So here's the other one. Are you good at all of the holiday crazy? Because usually women are pulling their hair out of their head because the man's just like ping ponging, watching what she's doing. She's doing all the buying, the wrapping, whatever. Do you get that drives us crazy?
Enough. Yeah. Yeah. Representing men on this one. We have a threshold of our holiday cheer. Mine is lower than most. So my wife knows that anything she wants to do above said threshold is on her. And I will have nothing to do with it. And we've had the conversation out loud. And maybe this makes me a bad man. And I'm sorry, all the men that I'm representing right now, all 3 of you that are still watching, I recognize our target demo today is not going to be men. But like I don't do the Christmas lights outside. I don't want them. I don't like them. I think that it's always cold. I mean, we live in Pennsylvania. Let's be real. Like we're not in Florida decorating our homes. And then when it's time to take it down, it's colder. You're exhausted from the holiday season, and you still have to clean up the inside of the house too. So I said when we moved into this house years ago, let's not do Christmas decorations outside. My wife, 3 Christmas trees in our home and outside lights. I didn't even agree to 1 Christmas tree. I know we're going to have one, but we have 3 in lights. And so she does all of it. And I swear to you, I sit in the recliner watching like a tennis match. Right? And I also start Christmas shopping on December 24th.
Shocking. I think what I'm hearing from you, and I want to be clear, this is not about male bashing. We're not bashing men in any of this.
No, you're pointing out truth that just happened to not be great. Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to understand. But I think what I'm hearing from you is you guys don't do things because it's not important to you. And that's what I'm hearing from you. Is that the bottom line here? These things are important to us, and it's just not that important to you. So you're like, who cares?
Take it a step further.
Okay.
We don't even understand why it's important to you. It's not that it's just not important to us. Like, you can't look the other way. Like, don't stare at my pile. If you don't look at my pile, it won't bother you.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
I don't understand why we need 3 Christmas trees in our house.
Because it's important to us.
We love it. It's pretty.
Yes.
Good answer. Oh my gosh. Lark, you're a hoot. This was so much fun. I love that you were honest. My face hurts. I know. You're like,
my face hurts from laughing.
We appreciate your comedic twist on all of this. And thank you for shedding light on something I think we already knew.
I hope I've answered some of the why.
You did. And you know what? To be fair here, again, this was not about male bashing. Next week, you're going to turn the tables on us, and you're going to ask us why we do what we
do.
And we can't wait.
Yes, I can.
And I only get 9 minutes? All right. I guess.
Yeah, that's all you get. So think long and hard about that.
Thanks so much for being with us, Lark. We just loved having you.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, he was so much fun. I got to be honest. I know that we're a little bit on the chopping block next week. We'll see how that goes.
Yikes. All right, so you got to tune in. We will be back next week when Lark is going to be chirping with us. We'll see you then.